Hi guys, welcome back. I'm going to be doing a gentle flow today. We'll probably do about 10-15 minutes and it will be geared towards amputees, but really anyone can do this flow. So yeah, anyone can do it. I know that people doing this flow, you might be an amputee, an arm amputee, or different leg than me, so I'm going to give you some modifications to be doing depending on where your amputation is. When I do these gentle flows, I prefer not to wear my prosthetic. It just doesn't feel comfortable, but feel free to wear it if you want. So we're gonna just start getting seated on our mats. You can sit cross-legged, whatever feels comfortable. Hands on the knees or the legs. Close the eyes. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale out through the mouth. Again, when you do that inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, lower the belly, drop the shoulder blades. Good, let's do one more inhale. Exhale. Good. Just taking a moment here to close the eyes, to settle in, to set your intention for your practice. So this could be an emotional intention, a physical intention, something that you want to stretch or work on within the body, or maybe you just want to calm the mind. Just taking a moment to set that intention. Holding that intention in the heart space, anchoring it in the body, and just start to feel the body soften here. Good, you can slowly flutter the eyes open. We're just gonna bring the hands together, interlacing the fingers, bring the hands behind the neck, bringing the elbows in towards each other, drop the head down. So you're just gonna start to feel the stretch along your neck, maybe the upper back. And take 5 deep breaths here. Good. Slowly start to unlock the hands, lifting up. So in our practice, we're really wanting to link the breath with our movement. And this practice is just going to be all about getting out of our mind into our bodies. And by doing that, we're going to be really anchoring into the breath. So every movement is going to have a breath associated with it. So we're going to bring the hands onto the knees or the legs, wherever they want to go. Inhale, we're going to lift the chest, draw the shoulder blades back, lift the chin up. Exhale, you're gonna round the spine, drop the head. Good, again, inhale, lift, draw the shoulder blades back. Exhale, round, drop down. Good, inhale, lift. Make this movement slower than you want. Exhale, round, make this movement slower than you want. Good, come back to center. Good, from here, we're gonna come into a seated position. Straightening the legs out forward. And you're gonna flex whatever foot you do have. So we're gonna inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, reach towards the toes. So you could either grab onto the foot if you're pretty flexible. If not, ankle, shin, anywhere on the leg that you can reach. And we're gonna start here with a flat back. So this is really going to stretch the calf, the hamstring. And if you can grab onto the foot, really pulling the toes towards you, keeping the spine long. Good, just breathing into where you feel the stretch here. And I encourage you to close your eyes throughout your practice as much as you can. This will really allow you to just notice where the sensations are in your body. And as you do that, it brings you out of the mind, into the body, following the breath. So from here, you can either stay here Or if you want to have a more passive version of this pose, you can either bring the forearms down to the mat, or you can bring the palms of your hands up towards the sky, rounding the spine, dropping the head. Maybe you grab onto the ankle here, depending on how flexible you are. So for me, I like to bring my belly to my thigh here and bring my nose to my leg. But even if you're just up here, that's okay too. Whatever feels good. And follow the breath. Deep inhales, deep exhales. And with every exhale, can you come a little deeper into the posture? Can you let go of some of the tension? So I know with this pose, it could feel a little bit tight for some people. And that's when you need to breathe even deeper. And we'll take 5 deep breaths here. Good. Slowly, let's round the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae. Letting the head come up last. Good. Inhale to lift the shoulders up. Exhale to roll them back. Good. We're going to come into a butterfly. If you have 2 legs, you're going to bring both feet together, knees come outwards. For me, I am just going to do 1 leg, and this leg's just going to land wherever it wants. Now we're going to bring hands. So for me, my left hand is going to go underneath the leg with the palm facing up. And this hand's just gonna lower down like this. And it's the same rounding motion and the same dropping of the head motion here. So for this one, if you're not pretty flexible and your hip flexors are a little bit tight, you might not quite be able to get the hand underneath the leg, and that's okay. You can just kind of drop them here and let the head round. You just wanna really let go of the tension in the neck here. So the goal really is to let the shoulder blades fall into the ears. Let the head drop. You might even shake your head yes and no to really let go of any tension in the neck. And just start to deepen the breath. Noticing how the mind starts to slow down in this one. And letting the head come closer and closer to the feet, to the floor. And we'll take 5 breaths here. And good, whenever you're ready, the same motion, slowly we're going to round the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. We let the head come up last so that we don't get dizzy. Good. Now, we're going to come back to a seated. We're going to come to a straddle position. So legs as wide as you can. Now, this one might be tight for those of you who have tight hip flexors. I know for me on the right side, it's pretty tight here. But all we're going to do is just walk the hands between the legs and go as far down as you can. So that might just be up here, that might be down here. If you're a little bit more flexible, you can maybe come onto the forearms. Now for these stretches, you want to make sure that you're stretching enough to the point of you definitely feel it. It might feel uncomfortable, and that's okay, but when it gets to a point of pain, that's where you want to back off. So oftentimes, You know, I might come down into a pose. I might come down all the way down for a couple seconds. I might start to feel a little bit too much pain. I might back off and then come onto the forearms. So this is where you kind of have to use your own judgment and just tune into your body and see, okay, what feels good here? And it might differ from day to day, from moment to moment. So just listening to your body, knowing there's no right or wrong way to practice yoga. It's just about what feels good for you. So let's breathe through this. I'm gonna come down and see how long I can last down here. Breathe, focus on your breath. Focus on the sensations you feel in the body. Maybe you drop your head here if you're on the forearms, or even if you're on the hands, you might drop your head. There's always a lot of options in yoga, a lot of different ways to do a pose. And let's hold here for 3 more deep breaths, making sure we're breathing into the belly instead of the chest. When we breathe into the belly, we're deepening our breath. We're able to get into our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest system. Good. We're slowly going to start to walk ourselves back up to neutral. Good. And we're going to come onto the belly, actually. So swing yourself onto the belly however you need to get there. And we're going to bring the hands down onto the mat. And from here, we're going to bring our forehead down onto the hands. So we're going to bring our legs wide as your mat, maybe even wider if you want. And we're just going to start to move the hips from side to side. This might feel a little weird. You can keep your head up, or you can have your head down on your hands. And when we do this, we're just moving some of the stuck energy and tension in the hips. And I think especially for amputees, our hips get super tight. It's a little bit harder to stretch if you have a leg amputation. So this really helps to just get stuff moving out of the hips. And you also might start to feel your body start to relax a little more. Good. You can lift the head up and we're gonna roll onto the back. So we're gonna keep whichever leg of yours is the amputated leg, if you do have one, on the mat. So whatever other leg you do have, you're gonna bring the knee into the chest. For me, this is the left. And we wanna do our best to really guide the opposite hip flexor down to the mat, making sure it's not lifting up. Good. Now from here, we're going to bring that knee into the left hand, and we're going to bring it out to the side. Good. Keeping that opposite hip flexor grounded. You might even bring your hand onto that hip, just to make sure you're guiding it down to the ground. Five deep breaths. Good. Now we're going to reach this leg up, and we're going to bring it over to the opposite side. So we're going to cross it over. Now from here, we're going to bring our arms to a T shape. So palms face the sky here, and we're going to gaze over. For me, it's going to be the left arm because I'm using the left leg. So if you're using the right, you're going to gaze over the right arm. Now you can do this with an amputated leg as well. We'll do it on the other side. So I'll show you. I'm keeping both shoulder blades grounded on the mat here. Just really feeling that stretch in the spine. Now this twist is a great way to wake up the body. It helps to relax the body and the mind, but it also helps to give you a little boost of energy. So let's take 5 breaths. If your mind ever starts to wander, just come back to that breath, come back to your body. We'll come back up to center, we'll bring that knee in for one more little squeeze, and we'll let it come down long. Now we're gonna switch. So this time I'm just gonna bring this leg up and we're gonna bring the hands behind the leg. Now this also will depend on where your amputation is. You might have a knee, so you might be able to bend the knee and grab onto the shin. So I'll just give you a couple of options, but this is how I do it. I'm just gonna draw that thigh towards your belly, at the same time drawing your shoulder blades down to the mat. Good, and then from here, we're going to do the same thing where we put that leg into that right hand, or if it's the right leg, into the right hand, if it's the left leg, into the left hand. We're just gonna let it come over to the right side here. So if you have a knee, you can grab onto the knee. And if you want with the opposite hand, you can ground that opposite hip flexor down to the mat, making sure both hips are even or balanced. And something I like to do if I'm getting too much in my head is to bring my hand to my belly, and that way I'm able to feel the breath come into the belly and then drop down. And you just focus on that. You focus on the belly rising in your hand and then falling in your hand. Okay, let's take 3 breaths. Good, we're gonna come into our twist. So bring that, for me, gonna be the right leg to the left side. Gonna grab onto it with the left hand. Now I'm just gonna pull on kind of the hip area, and I'm just gonna pull it down so you feel that stretch alongside that IT band alongside your hip. Or you can have both hands out to a T shape, gazing over the opposite hand. So opposite hand to opposite leg. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. Everyone kind of does this posture differently. For me, each side is different. So on this side, I like to bring my hand to my leg. On the other side, I didn't. So just honoring yourself, honoring what your body needs in this moment. And take 5 breaths. Slowly we'll come back to center. We'll bring both of the legs into chest. Interlace the fingers around the legs. Draw both of your thighs into chest. Maybe you rock from side to side. So this will give you a nice little lower back massage. And we're going to come into our final Shavasana, which is our resting pose. So just let the legs come long, let the arms come long, palms face the sky. Taking a deep breath in, sigh it out. Let's do one more like that. Inhale, sigh it out, exhale. Just starting to notice any shifts you feel in the mind and the body. Maybe you feel a little bit less tightness in the body. Maybe you feel that your breathing has gotten a little deeper. Maybe you just feel that your mind is a little bit more clear. And can you just notice, find gratitude for this practice, for shifting, even if it's just a little bit. We're going to close off the practice, bringing one hand to the belly, the other hand to the heart. And starting to fill up the heart space, feeling it expand, allowing yourself to cultivate gratitude, to cultivate peace, joy. And staying here for as long as you need, the longer the better. But I'm going to close off my practice now. So namaste.